And the only reason you knew they were there was because of the knots in the trees.
That's right.
They were the doors.
Yes. We always longed to see a door open.
We were in Berlin actually on holiday the week when all this started going down. And then we came back and weren't feeling very well. So we actually have been in social isolation for 14 days. But we're past it now. It was definitely frightening because you don't know what's going to come. And now we went to the supermarket today, which was a big highlight, going to the supermarket. Oh my God, so excited.
Yeah, exactly.
We're very pleased we've got a little bit of garden out the back. Our cat's loving it.
As soon as the virus hit the Kazakhstan, it's almost 1 month, everything is closed and the city is locked down. You cannot go outside except, of course, grocery stores and pharmacy. And people working at home, but staying at home, it's a privilege.
煮嘢食嘅，咁啊好緊要啦！意粉呢樣嘢喺呢個情況底下，係啦。
意粉真係好緊要啊！
意粉緊要啊！爭到冇晒我支布拉格，我好彩係烏士啊，
哦
乜都有啦。
布拉格清空啊！
I don't understand why toilet roll is not like the supermarket have nothing anymore. They do have stuff, and then people stop buying it that much anymore because they already have a lot in the house. There was a post before when some as like a restaurant and they were still allowed to be open and they run out of toilet roll, so they use the toilet roll as a currency. So they said if you can give us 8 toilet roll, you can exchange for a large pizza.
呢段時間就因為倫敦即係英國啦就。大家就禁足啦，其實就即係自願禁足。原本諗住4月2號買機票翻香港嘅，但係咧航班咧都因為疫情取消咗，跟住而家就等緊聽日希望班機就唔取消啦，咁就翻到香港避一避個疫情啦，都因為即係經濟負擔都重，所以翻香港避一避咁樣咯。想去 tune 自己係一個比較穩定嘅狀態，所以好多嘢都會去即係拉闊成個時段啊，或者唔好太，因為如果我太斟酌喺呢段時間，我一定黐咗線。
You have to have this by yourself all the time that you're out. It's like, because it's like you acknowledge that you can only go out in the worst cases, basically, or in the most important cases. So that's like shopping, helping some of your close people, or doing physical activity.
要每天量体温。
哦，这个是你的体温纸啊！啊，可以清楚一点。哇，每一天都要这样做。你现在是第几天啊？
今天第10天了。
已经第10天了，所以还有4天。
对，然后我再给你看一个，他还会问你很多问题，有没有发烧，然后流鼻水、鼻塞。
I was staying in a hotel and suddenly there was a big explosion. Well, I'm working online at the moment. I'm actually, because I've been in Hong Kong, it hasn't really been a lockdown here. It's been more about there's been a lot of restrictions, but so it's quite a unique situation. So I was staying in one hotel and working online in the hotel, and then as another twist in the story was that they started making it into a quarantine camp. So now I'm in another hotel and I'm waiting to return to Shanghai. I mean, Hong Kong's always been a place where people have been kind of like socially distant. So, and these days everyone's online. There's always been a kind of lockdown going on, I think.
As I told you, like I also trying to work with people on duty. For me now, they are the heroes. They are the Supermans, you know, because like we all locked at home and they're there 24 hours trying to bring or to find a solution and help life. So as you see, like doctors, the tram drivers, people in panic on the street, for example, like bring a little bit of fashion in it also, like kind of funny thing. So it's kind of being a bridge between people and the situation at the moment. You know, people then get together to fight against this crisis. So I wanted to portray, and it's like a group of young people who are just like taking this risk, like to get together and like sewing the masks. But I have to be true and be honest. Like I'm just very, very worried, yes, about everybody, like about everybody and everything. Like people losing work, people losing, people are distant with their family, they cannot visit each other, and many, many other things.
Chapters 1 through 3 out of 17. The Moog and the Thump I coined it, my morning commute amongst the mugs of the human zoo. From Yizio Sepulveda to Kacharov to Haye, everyone with their mouths closed, digesting the same space and human air in the complete silence of the metro.
I think when we have restrictions, we create more. And so in a weird way, quarantine is a global restriction. Create our own worlds, and we have to create our own world because we can't enjoy the real world right now.
We don't have a porch, and we don't have a shotgun. We live in this shitty one-bedroom apartment.
Why is it's like my phone like that?
Because it is. If you got a
Fear. Every time I talk to somebody from back home, they're all very scared. I feel like the air there is very heavy. How do you picture somebody without a face? Faces are like a thumbprint. Over time, every face is so different, and time changes that. So in this idea that, you know, time will heal this, and it is a faceless monster. I tried to do a book exchange with somebody, you know, drop books off at the park and then like run around and then come back again and see what books they took.
That's interesting that you can make your own furniture in this time.
Yeah, this is the start. This is where I'm working at my own house. And then I made all this, like my benches.
Wow, it looks awesome.
Yeah, so this is what I've been doing this whole time.
Open your windows, let the sun in. Appreciate the little things, like the taste of a favorite food or things that are around you. Being creative helps me a lot. But there's a lot of creative things, creative outlets that help keep you sane during the quarantine.
Every Thursday, I will post a painting on this auction site, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the Ottawa Food Bank. That works on a number of levels. I'm giving smaller pieces in a $300-400 range, and they're selling for twice their value online. And I think it gives people want to help, and this is a way of helping the food bank, and at the same time, you get a nice little painting out of it. As a huge problem, has spawned beautiful artworks all through time, all through history. So this is another challenge, and this is another opportunity to create work.
You need a voice of the human.
Yeah,
and I think that you need the energy. The people have some energy, and it's something when we're meeting and touching and have the hugs, and it is what I miss it the most. So, and I prepared for us some autoportrait.
Is it very blurry?
It will be funny.
可能有啲人會覺得兩種又好似好大嘅衝突，但係其實喺一個時間你冇得出街好耐嘅時候，你人嘅思想個衝突就梗係會有幾面㗎啦。咁但係你要揾到一個方式讓自己平靜嘛。咁所以咪即係一種就係可以係釋放咯，釋放嗰個能量咯；一種就係讓自己儲能量咯，即係將自己平靜翻咁咯。
I know you understand. I wish I would. I have never touched you.
So we will just engage in talks, and then we will put out something in the space of my bedroom, or do something in here. And that'll be it. And if the artist wants to have it documented, that'll appear on my website. There's all these possibilities for live streams and things. But I also think it really, I want to push the idea of like what art and exhibition can be.
Hopefully this thing will be over, and then people will be more deep inside them, and they will see that the important things in life is not just making money, is not just doing things, but there are many other values in life. I think everyone should see the nice part of this situation and think about our planet, and not just read about it and not just know about it, but really do something.
You got it.
Wash your hands.
And when you wash your hands, then you can blow safe bubbles. There we go. Oh, got there in the end.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a nice collaboration going on here.
Yeah.
That person at the top is really quite excited. Okay, so this is the world right now. This is a sick bubble.
Oh, yeah.
And if it gets too stick, all your air is going to come out.
This virus is airborne. It stays in the air for 3 hours, and we don't know specific how it is transmitted. So there is many ways that it can be transmitted, and it's for the safety of the people that there is a lockdown, because now there is a lockdown, and even then people are getting out. So imagine if there was not a lockdown, then everyone would get out and it will be transmitted. So I know it's hard for me not to meet him, and I know it's killing me. Yeah. But we need this lockdown for us, for our parents, for our loved ones. Even if it's very strict, we need it.
Personally, I will be in a box which will be covered with 4 screens of latex, and I'll be behind the box, and it will be lit up from the inside. I was quite torn between whether I should go back to my responsibilities in the Czech Republic, my life there, or I should stay with people that I love, and be closer to them in this period. So of course, like for me now, looking back, it was kind of obvious what my decision should have been, and it's like I shouldn't have even questioned whether I should stay or go. But I think when you have like created such a existence somewhere else, and you have a job, and you have like friends, and your life is somewhere else, it's really difficult. I think I like struggled for the first few days of like making this decision, whether it was the right one.
When I started doing art, my co-workers said that now they know why I'm different, that I'm maybe not part of this hospital crew so much, but I'm more like artist and a little bit different. And yeah, I don't find a lot of people I could like talk about the things which like bother me, so that people wouldn't be like shocked. Somehow I even like talk less to my relatives. I have a daughter, and I recently became grandmother, and I couldn't meet them. I miss them a lot, and yeah, it makes me sad, and I feel that I'm really, really lonely. Some people are like, I don't know, like afraid that I work in a hospital, that maybe I'm like health risk.
Janka Ruchaňová, Slovak artist from Košice. Her paintings are dealing with the politics. It's ironic commentaries.
And also the media behave as like hyenas. They need to spread the hysteria. So they only take the negative things, and then it looks like it's scaring people, and also like helping to xenophobia and everything. Yeah. Role of the media in this is very problematic. It's question what is first, if it's like chicken or the egg. Yeah. Because like journalists are writing people want to listen, you know, and it's the negative news usually generating, you know, this atmosphere of fear.
By learning to regulate breath and controlling your chi, a man is capable of amazing feats.
搞撚錯啊你老味！我個晚餐差啲俾你條友搞禍啦，頂你個肺！
I mean, I don't know what the battle of the life is, but I do know that Hong Kong personal space is very small.
Exactly.
And mental health is a very big, important contributor to people acting out.
Yeah.
You get to a situation where, well, I'm fortunate in that I am a single person living by myself, so I don't have a situation where there's 4 or 5 people in my space.
Now my idea is to actually do a workshop, 4-hour workshop only on synchronization for my Czech folks from music scene, to help them actually to discover this whole kind of business strategy, how to have a passive earning in music, you know, for any cases like that, and not to be always so stressed out and hysterical about our financial situation, because I think most of us actually are. That's just a matter of what we do.
Yeah.
So I decided that this is what I'm gonna do. Like, this is gonna be my, you know, help for people I care about and the community I care about.
We were talking about the rise of the new cinema after the World War II. I think that it is quite a unpleasant thing, okay? But after this pandemic, when people are rising up again, there will be quite a lot of need for culture and art to think about what we have gone through and to help us to pick up the world again.
Hearing, to listen to people who go through similar challenges than you do. So that's one thing. The same last week, I organized also like a poetry open stage, like online. It was the same, like really heart and soul warming, you know, to listen to the voice of other French poets, listen to the words that sometimes, you know, touches you and unlocks things in your mind. So that's very important. So that's on the local basis that I think it really helps, or in the direct basis. And indirectly, I mean, we are all about stories.
Doing things the hard way for me is like developing and growing this self-discipline. So now I have all of this time. It's like, okay, so how do I use it? So I have like a huge to-do list and loads of things that I want to develop and work on and study and so on and so forth. And so now I have the time to do it. I just need to work on the self-discipline aspect of it. So that's why I'm kind of content, because it's up to me to decide what and when I'm going to do it, and it's only really me who I have to be accountable for.
This can just help the economy like keep going, and I would say more so just like help the people who are in this situation support each other and keep alive, because this is going to keep filmmakers alive. Filmmakers can keep working and get paid, and I think this is something that restaurants and similar businesses will actually pay for, because they're not paying for commercials right now.
I try to look at it in a positive, factual but positive way, and I publish it online, and then usually about 250 people like my little post, and I get all kinds of notes back saying, "Hey Tim, thanks a lot for telling us all this," because you know there's a lot of expats out there who don't speak Czech and don't really know what's going on, and the numbers can be scary. So I try to look at the stats and make it less scary and let people know what's going on. So that's what I do every day around this time.
Especially for smaller and independent theaters, the situation can break their neck, actually. So they try to get some money, they try to get some ideas, they try to brainstorm. They got more time to study scripts, they got more time to write scripts and just to get ready into the pre-production process. The theater is here with us 2,000 years. The old Romans, the old Greeks were using the theater. So it has survived the wars. It has survived all the catastrophes and climate changes. So I'm sure, and I'm very, very positive that theater will also survive the coronavirus.
Here's Mr. Avocado.
Oh, so sweet.
Because when he was only a seed, he was red, and he was a bald, so I called him Mars because he's like the planet Mars. The whole world, like people cut trees in rainforests. I wanted to have a little rainforest in my home. They can try to plant a plant if they want to, but like they will wait really long. There's like two kinds of it. Like the seed is in one big seed, like that. And that big seed grows on the trees of the cacao. And inside this big seed is the little seeds, what you put in water, and then you put it in soil, and they grow. This is like, these black thingies are the little seeds.
Yeah.
And then it grows like from them.
We kind of did this to ourselves, right? I mean,
Exactly.
burning down the Amazons, which are kind of the lungs of the earth.
Exactly.
And we're making the space of wild animals smaller and smaller. Yeah, we're getting the viruses that come also from the wild animals. So the smaller we make the world, the more we will also have these kinds of viruses or bacteria. And maybe the good thing then of this is that people are forced to stay home. So maybe we get more conscious and think about these things. I hope as a humankind we kind of work on this together. A new virus will come if it's reported as soon as possible, and then actions can be taken. It's better than if governments don't want to say it, not to be embarrassed or whatever it is.
So originally, Sustaina Claus was simply the idea that we need to act sustainably.
But what do we look at today? Santa Claus is selling you crap in the shopping mall. It's nothing to do with the original idea, right?
Exactly.
It's nothing. It's completely co-opted, completely distorted.
Yeah.
It's not about giving, it's about receiving. It's about greed. It's about all of the things that, well, that's our society, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it the one we want? No, not the one I want. The animal world, probably not really, but at least in some evidence, is coming back and reclaiming the lives which we took away from them when we were milling around, right? Consuming more crap than we needed.
The connection to the threat situation. So I basically picked up the footage of the empty seaters around the world, and I wanted to capture how nature is retaking the world again. And as we spread to the wild and we take the natural habitat of the animals, we are increasing the chance of interspecies transmission.
Discussing the current situation with the coronavirus and also the political situation in Hong Kong and people's thoughts and perspectives on that situation, how or what they see coming in the future and how to move forward in this climate. Initially, it was despair because, since January and February, there's been no work, especially in the creative industries. I was doing a lot of work in the event space, and that just evaporated overnight. We've already been through it a couple of months now, so my despair has turned into listless.
Официально заявляю, что теперь я медведь, и в ближайшее время я отдыхаю.
Добро пожаловать в карантин, гепардик. Сильно не расслабляйся.
Yeah, so now I have a time to do everything. We were so much hard working all this time, studying and etc., etc., etc. So now we finally can read. We finally can, watch movies we wanted to watch. But at the same time, I feel this very high pressure of kind of like some capitalistic system because, even now when nothing to do, I am sitting back home in Ukraine without job, also without study, and it seems like that I have pretty enough time to do anything. But even now, I feel that I don't have enough time to do everything I want.
嗯，先像是地球暂停了一样，就是什么事情都暂停了，就好像停下来呼吸一口气再出发的感觉，也是让地球喘一口气，然后也是让大家重新思考，是不是在一直往前冲的时候就忘记了一些身边的美好的人事物啊。
Malay royalty gained their legitimacy from the Quran and not from the Chinese emperor.
They knew it was coming, so why didn't people spend more money on how to cope with a sudden influx of a pandemic virus? People have been writing about this possibility for the past 20 years in fiction, been making movies about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you go back to the the Black Plague and that period, the only thing that they discovered worked then was quarantine. If anybody got the plague, the entire household was locked up with them until they all died.
We don't really know what's going to happen after this situation, but if we start to remember our ancestors, 1,000 years ago, they keep alive, so that's why we are alive right now. So making plans, it's important to keep our life. But the most important things now, it's like keeping the health and help each other.
I lived in New York in the 1980s. When I first arrived there, which was in 1979, the city was bankrupt. The government, Washington, D.C., President Ford at that time refused to give New York a loan. This was a leaflet that the police gave out to people at the airport, Welcome to Fierce City. Why did they do this? Because they were really fed up with the situation and the crime. And this was one of their ways of protesting against it. And this was a scene out of the back window of a friend's flat. The reason I showed these is because New York was a dangerous place and there was no money, and we had to create a community, and we did our creativity by supporting each other with no money and creating something special in the situation that we lived in. And we survived, and we got through it, and we created great art from that period of time. So here we are in 2020, a new decade, a new reality. And once again, we find ourselves supporting each other, but online.
喺31號啦，可以見到當時警察係 用咗呢個理由去驅散。係啊，咁其實好無理喎，我覺得呢個理由係咯，同埋大家係去獻花啫嘛，去睇市集係咪？係。其實佢哋警察冇搞任何嘢，唔上機啊，唔搞任何嘢，我其實冇事㗎。
There is the higher importance of my work, I think, these days, because we just decided to move maybe a little bit more or concentrate on the democratic principles, since maybe you know about the things that are happening right now in Hungary. And it may be more important just to be a bit aware of what the democracy is and to value it more, maybe, and just not to be blind to restrictions of democracy or freedom of people, because it may be then a bit more complicated to get it back to the normal.
We can change, we can descale, we can downscale, and we can somehow compromise our consumers' lifestyle. And maybe this will, for instance, root more in the ecological respect, so that people know that we are able to actually do something on a global scale, for instance. This calling for stronger hand of those in power, something that apparently happens progressively in Hungary and Poland. So that's what I'm really scared of, that people will try to find those strong male political characters to somehow attach to.
他们只是越乱越好，香港人越怕越好。
一粒子彈都冇，冇睇嘅。啲人又唔驚，使乜理你國安法啦？
呢個好明顯就同我都有關嘅，就好近距離咁做個節目啦。咁我就冇擺低花啦，我都行嘅啫。OK， 係啦。咁你見到咧？其實有好多嘅即係尤其我哋海外，我唔知係咪啲海外嘅讀者觀眾會睇到呢個畫面啦。同埋其實係可能就係有啲重要嘅日子，大家依舊都係會出現，即係例如即係喺疫情環境底下，其實好多市民都唔會想喺一個即係咁樣嘅情況，即係你想象到。咁但係即係你見到依家即係嗰啲 ironic 嘅畫面就係，即係你見到依家啲市民咧就喺度獻花，但同時間後邊好多警察喺度睇住，咁就喺咁疫情環境底下，你覺得即係大家如果理論上大家應該都會想喺屋企㗎嘛？
Já si myslím, že umění by mělo být svobodné a teď necítím svobodu a trošku to vypadá jako, že umění má být umlčeno v této chvíli. A uvědomila jsem si, že jediný, co doma teďka mám vlastně k dispozici, jsou obvazy, takže jsem si řekla, že to použiju takhle, no. Vlastně jako symbol toho současného mlčení vlastně.
What you try to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Middle class people don't realize that being able to stay at home, it's a real privilege, you know, and not everyone has this privilege. A lot of people, if they don't work a day, that's it. They don't have food for the day. And a lot of people don't realize this. And they, on social media, they just go on and on. Send them to jail, you know, send them to prison, arrest them all. I'm like, and I'm here like, come on, people, have a bit more heart.
If you don't have inner world, then you are nothing right now. The fact that we can talk with each other, me and you, and then everybody sees it, the fact that I can speak right now and to say my thinking without, fear.
Yeah.
Because maybe when you are with your loved ones, you fear, you don't want to say everything. You don't want to say the worst thoughts that you have, the bad thought.
Yeah.
And now I can talk freely, because you gave us this format.
第几天吧，就是停学之后，停课之后几天，我就突然有这个感觉。然后那时候还有跟身边的朋友分享，就是说，我今天不知道为什么突然觉得有点难过，就觉得心情很低落，是莫名的。对，但我那个时候知道，可能是因为我以前有大学就是有学一点心理的背景，所以我感觉比较，就是这是一个很正常的感受，就是因为这是一个很巨大的生活转变、环境转变，所以大家都会有这样的感觉。然后后来我调试之后，过了几天，我身边的朋友开始跟我说，他说，我今天也突然觉得心情很不好，很沮丧，所以我觉得就是这个是最大的挑战，就是你要怎么去调试你的心情，然后重新过一个不一样 routine 的生活。
You realize how social we actually are, as humans. And I know after like a week or so, I started, Skyping with my parents more. I mean, I'm actually Skyping with my parents more and communicating with them more because you're stuck indoors. There's nothing else to do. Emotionally speaking, I think that it's not bad. It's not like there's nothing really challenging. I think you're just staying positive and understanding this is going to actually come to an end at some point.
Living in the north of Italy, and my city was one of the first city where coronavirus started very big.
Yeah.
So I felt also in the same time that we needed to do something to stop this crisis moment. And after that, they built up an hospital in the parking because not enough space. So a lot of people very sick, a lot of people dying.
There is no message. It is all about questions. And I think now, in daily life, we are all rushed in between these wheels. So there's no time for thinking, for questioning ourselves.
I was basically right at the precipice of this new door that opened before me, right as a lot of doors in my life were closing.
Yeah.
And so the challenge has been to just stay in the doorway and not have that mobility or that freedom to, run forth to all of those exciting new opportunities. So it's been a challenge for me to stay where I am mentally, emotionally, physically.
But surely it's not. I mean, the medium we are using is not the VR, the virtual reality, sophisticated technologies that could make you feel the body it's like a very simple tool. It's just for do something like chatting or video call your friends. It's not that we are transforming this medium, doing something that's art.
The attention span is shorter when kids are looking at a screen. So you almost it's not just educational because you have to keep the kids' focus. And then if one of the kids starts jumping up and down on his bed, it's much harder to be like, hey, get down, because you don't have that authority. It's not your classroom. You're just a person on the screen.
everything that's been building up to this over the last decade. It's a severe warning sign from nature. I mean, someone could even say that it's a divine force or a force of God to kind of, I feel like, reset humanity because we've been ignoring the signs for so long. And honestly, considering all of the possible outcomes from this, it's quite a gentle transition.
Wait, can I have one of those?
Oh, sure.
Right now, it's to our detriment.
Yeah.
So rather than learning from all of the different countries and like what their governments are doing to protect their citizens, and skipping ahead to what works, like being humble and being able to learn from others, they're really insisting on going about it the hard way. They'd rather learn themselves, and that's a scary place to be because people are dying.
You cannot see much the face.
Yeah.
But you can feel the energy of a person, no?
Yeah.
So I hope it will help us as a society to see something else than a beautiful face. Countries will become more closed. People, of course, will be more afraid to interact with strangers. Countries will become more independent because we became extremely dependent of China. So each country was depending on importing things from China, importing medicine, importing equipment. We have to have our kind of independence, at least in the essential needs.
As an artist and as somebody who's more introverted, is I feel like I actually get to operate more in natural state now because there's less pressure to go out and do things. And so I almost feel like it's the first time in my life where, because my mind is constantly occupied with making choices to do things or not do things and trying to manage my energy in that way, that I'm actually experiencing myself in a very different kind of state. So for me, I try to be curious about things, and I certainly can't predict or guess, where this is going to take us. So my tendency is to be curious about it and see what is the opportunity in this, and what could possibly emerge, and what can we do to maybe make things more the way we would want them.
「全球嚟講，疫情啦，其實都係一個令我反思嘅一個機會嚟嘅。即係首先唔好怪嗰個疫情係邊個國家而引起嘅，其實你要反而睇翻已經起咗啦。咁我哋依家叫做被困屋企啦。依家嘅生活同埋對比翻之前我哋生活，其實我哋之前嘅生活係有乜，即係對地球或者對自己係有咩分別咧？會唔會趁依家呢個比較大家安靜啦，唔需要同人接觸咁多嘅機會，即係唔使 go outside、go inside、go to your heart， 翻你內心嗰度問下自己，其實你人生究竟其實成件事對你最重要係啲乜嘢咧？
Yeah, this is my message. Look at this. This is a snail shell. And it shows that everything goes in circles, like everything goes around. And a couple of days ago, I found out that the grandmother of my great-great-grandmother was born in this house. But the thing is that my family didn't have any connection with this house. My family bought this house in the 90s. So it was like, how it's possible that she was born here, like around 100 years ago.
That's really good.
I was so super surprised. And she said, no, it's not possible. But you know, Anna, everything goes in the circles. And I said, yeah. And then the same day I went to the forest and I realized that there are a lot of these snail shells.
Finally, coming home to my hometown, which was of course a wonderful journey that led to coming home. And that is very funny to say because now everybody is locked down in their homes. It's as if the world, the universe is telling us to come home, like, and stay there literally.
It's really important as we go through this time to be in the present, and to be here now, and to focus our energy on each moment, because that is, each moment can be just sustaining into the next moment without too many thoughts going through our head. And that we have to remember the wisdom of the ages that all of us in our own cultures experienced. The universe holds in its multiple levels, that they have a lot of wisdom in their work to share and to express, and that we all, this is a gift that we receive, and music that transports, and sometimes art that transports, and or dance. It can be anything, and that's going to be a huge contribution as people learn that we can become a real global community. We're humanity. We already are, in my mind. It's just people are afraid of it maybe, but we can be something really wonderful in the coming chapter if we allow ourselves to take the steps and to, embrace each other and embrace what we have and let it be and be part of it.
I would like to say thanks to all of you, and it's such a nice experience of mine that to spend 19 days at my place, but I'm seeing like over 160 of you.
With the kiss from the sun god, new things I sacrifice, my body sings and I forget.
I absorb so many energy from you guys and seeing a lot of interesting, excited performance, and to share all the story, all the thoughts and all these ideas.
Cause all this time I've been thinking of you.
Because I'm sliding the flecks of the dunes. I like the green oaks with you.
I would love to catch up like all of you after this to, I don't know, make some kind of like online exhibition or like a real exhibition maybe in Prague to share all of our feeling like after this quarantine life, and to see your smile again. Like maybe you would like to see me not behind the curtain.
Here I go. I'll tell you all you already know. Y no hay nada más que un subconsciente roto.
And listen to the world and listen to the people.
Learn
more from the framing of records, baby, than we ever learned in school.
I want to die. I want to live.
Will I decline, or am I simply making a time travel?
Bujařit jak na jaře, všechno křičí ptáci, nejen láskou zpívají, ale o pomoc taky žádají.
每天就好像面对背的列车，就在深夜里汇合。
Remain juiced, suppress private blues. Did you ever stop to think about what's in your juice? Recycling, bitches arranging trash in their bush.